Hey everybody, welcome to my studio. It's Joanne Rogers. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Central Alberta, Canada, and I've been designing with you in mind since 1999. So thanks for joining in today, and we're just going to wait a couple minutes and I'm going to just get my iPad going so that I can see myself on there and so that I can see your comments as well. So while we're waiting for people to jump in, and when you do jump in, let me know where you are tuning in from. So I'd like to see, hey Sandra, hi Jennifer, glad to have you both here. So maybe just tell me where you're tuning in from. Let me know where you're watching. And Lori, good to see you. So thanks very much for coming and joining in. And so I've got a project for you today. It's a little messier than some of the other ones that I have done. Not so messy that I'm gonna wreck my room, but you probably can't tell from here, but I actually have my apron on today too. So Jennifer's in her craft room. Perfect. I'm glad. Are you gonna play along? Lori's Red Deer. Karen, hi, good to see you. Thanks for coming along. So just a little bit of housekeeping while we have some people joining in. So last week, you might remember, hey Karen, thanks for coming. You might remember that we made these cute little guys. So whoops, let me turn it around the right way. These cute, we didn't make this one, but that was one that I made, this cute little guy, and I showed you how to do the heart shape on the top. Sandra's from Ponoka. Hey Sandra, great to have you here. This is the other one too, and we did a little bit of bling and colored up our glimmer paper using our alcohol marker. And then if you don't want to use your Stampin' Blends, your alcohol markers, you can also just use some alcohol in an aqua painter with some refill, and that will work just as well. So those were the projects that we did last week, and so I have to pick a winner for, hi Ruth, come on in. I have to pick a winner, so I've got my tin, which I said last week is getting a little bit larger, and it is. This is great. So every time that you post a comment, or especially if you share, I really do appreciate that. Thanks a lot. I put your name into the draw. And so what I'm drawing for is I'm either going to give, if it's somebody that's close by that I can just drop off, I'll hand out this guy made. Or I also did up another one here. So it's a little bit different color. So a little bit of that light pink from the heart from the All My Love paper. And a happy Valentine's Day. And there's a ribbon in there. And then all you have to do is stick it together. So thanks very much, Ruth. So here's my winner. I will just shake it up one more time for last week. And let's see. Oh, I've pulled out two. Okay, I've just got one now. And it's Leanne. So Leanne Walker. So Leanne, I know you're in town. Thank you very much for sharing, Jennifer. And so I will get one of these little Valentine boxes off to you. So thanks very much. And then we're going to see sort of what we're going to be doing today. And I would need to tell you a little bit about the product of the week and what my steal of a deal is. So let me just put that stuff out of the way because I've got a lot of things on here and I know that I'll end up tripping over them or getting ink on them, and then you won't be very happy and I won't be very happy. Okay, so the product of the week this week is and that's backwards I realize, but the Amazing Life stamp set. And anybody who attended the Orlando, hi Bonnie, thanks for coming, who attended the convention in Orlando, which is called On Stage, we did receive this. So there's a bunch of these out there. And I was actually very happy once I got this because I thought there's all kinds of things in here and I like to color. So this set is perfect for coloring. So we are going to color, but a little bit different coloring today than what you might think of as coloring. So that is my product of the week. So all my projects this week up until Sunday will be featuring this product, that stamp set. And we are also I also have a steal of a deal. So my steal of a deal, I post that every week, and it's just for I just posted in my Design with Joe VI peeps. So those folks, it's my Facebook group and we're building a community there, so I would love to have you join in. So it's easy to do. So if you just go to the Design with Joe page, you can see at the top there's a little square right where I have my sunflower and the Design with Joe. It says join group, I think, or what else? It says something different at the top. And so you just have to click on that. And then once you're in there, you can join. And then I have exclusive deals. We have some people posting projects and things like that, which is wonderful. And so come on in, because it's sort of fun. And I don't post those in my just regular Facebook business page either. And I don't post it on my email. So with that amazing life, and because it's great for coloring, I thought it would be a fun idea to have all of the coloring tools in the annual catalog at 10% off. So those are on pages 202 to 205. And so there's a ton of things in here. I'll hold this up, but there's all kinds of stuff. So the markers, the colored pencils, the brush show, even the craft Stampin' Pad and refill, anything that's on these 4 pages. And so there's our aqua painters, there's an embossing buddy if you need one of those. So even though that's not technically a coloring tool, it's included in here. Hi Betty, thanks for coming. And Judy too. And the Stampin' Blends. So it includes the Stampin' Blends. So 10% off is a great opportunity for you to stock up. And we're still in celebration. We're going to be in celebration for quite a while yet. But when you place a $60 order now, you can choose whatever you want from our little celebration brochure. And for those of you that have either placed an order or have seen the brochure, what's your favorite out of the celebration items? Is it one of the stamp sets? And if it is, which one is it? And there's some really cute ones here. There's, in fact, maybe I'll point you guys down and we'll just go through that brochure. So hold on, I'll turn you around and we'll get you going down here and make sure everybody's in the right spot. So I'm going to put this with Leanne's name there. So just make sure you can see me and send me a comment, and if everything is fine there. Yep, looks like I can see that. So let's just look at the celebration for a moment. So it's really, really pretty. I haven't been able to show you when I've been on my lives before the insides of these, but I'm just curious. I'm just going to flip through them quickly. Is the Hello Cupcake, the organdy ribbon. There's some butterfly elements, which are those little wooden elements. And there's the botanical butterfly designer paper. And this is really beautiful, 12 by 12 paper. We've got the By the Bay, which is a really nice set, thinking of you, a thank you. The Home to Roost, which is surprisingly one of the popular ones for my folks too, with this great rooster here. I really like these, I don't know, would you call them wheat? What would you call those? There's some Grapefruit Grove and Lovely Lipstick foil paper. There's the So Hoppy Together. This guy is just darling. He's a cute little frog, which is great for birthdays or an encouragement kind of card. Part of My Story, which is really nice words and lots of mixes of fonts and brush lettering on there. Lovely Lattice, which is really traditional, kind of great for coloring too. It looks like roses here. So if you're in Alberta, maybe looks a little bit like the wild rose. Precious Parcel. This is a card kit, and I've seen a lot of these around, and we gave away, I think we had 3 of these free at my open house. The Tea Time Framelit. So all of those items were free with a $60 order, and then the last 2 items are with a $120 order. They're a level 2. So this is Tea Time Framelits, and it perfectly coordinates with the stamp set called Tea Together in the Occasions catalog, which you might have noticed. And then I showcased this a couple weeks ago, the Lasting Lily, which is also free with a $120 order. So I'm curious, out of everybody that's watching, which was or is your favorite? Which was the first thing you had to get or are still waiting to get out of this catalog? And because I'm going to be showcasing some of those. Oh, you know what I forgot to do last week? So with the treat holders, let me grab them again. With the treat holders, I never told you what treats fit in here. So when I was making them last week, sitting right on the desk, and that didn't get actually put into one of the treat holders, are these little hearts that you can get at this time of year. So I'm just going to open these guys here, this one rather. And these will tuck in here. They're a little fat, but not super fat. By fat, I mean it doesn't fold down quite as nice, and I've got 2 in there. You can probably see them there. And then it still will close at the top and go down through our ribbon. Another item, I'm going to pull that off for a minute. Another item that will also go in there, and I don't have one sitting on my desk because I forgot about this too, are the Ghirardelli chocolates. They will fit in here perfectly. So you can get one Ghirardelli in here really nicely. So you can get a good sized treat in there, or two. So I wanted to share that because only one person, you guys need to let me know, because I'm zipping around here and talking and I forget a lot of things that I think I'm going to say, and it's too late. Lasting Lilies, so that's Bonnie's favorite, and then the Tea Time Framelits as well. So we've got a couple votes there. What are some of your other choices? Okay, so steal of a deal. Don't let the coloring tools get away from you. Okay, so what we're going to be working with today are the mini pizza boxes. And they're not mini, as in super teeny weeny, you can't fit anything in them. They're just a smaller pizza box than if you were going to order a pizza from Boston Pizza, let's say. So these are food safe, and the food safe side is this shiny, hopefully you can see that, is this shiny side. So that's the side that you want to be in. So Karen likes Lasting Lilies. We've got 2 so far for Lasting Lily. So we are going to work instead on the side that is matte today. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the Stampin' Spritzer. And I have this filled about halfway just with plain water. Okay, and I'm just going to take that, it just screws right off. And I'm going to put some Mango Melody in there. And my Mango Melody refill. And I'm going to put probably about 7 or 8 drops. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Boy, that's going quicker than I can count. Okay, so you want to put the lid back on that, but first I'm going to put the lid on this guy, and it just screws on just like you would normally expect it. I'm going to get this one cleaned up before I knock it over. And then you're going to just shake it around. Or really, I'm just moving it around. And I want a pretty intense bit of color in there. So that's why I put so many drops. You could go lighter if you want, but I want it to be closer to the color of the cardstock. So then all I'm going to do is I'm going to spray this. Now, a little tip for working with your Stampin' Spritzer. How many of you have sprayed yourself in, maybe not the face, but in your stomach or your chest or out into the great beyond somewhere? So what I do on mine is I put, just with a Sharpie pen, I put a little arrow pointing to where the spout is. So that way I can look at it without having to look here. I can just have a quick look and I know that I need to be spraying that way. Okay, so just an arrow. That's just a little tip for you. So I'm going to do 2 things at once. I'm going to do a piece of Whisper White, just plain regular Whisper White paper. And this size is 2 inches by 11. We're going to be working with one that's 3 inches by 11. And then your mini pizza as well. And then you're just going to spritz directly on top of it. And I want to have a pretty good coverage of color. So just spritz as many times as it takes. Now, one thing you will notice is that your paper is going to immediately start to curl up, and that's okay. It's okay if it does that. I'm going to put a little bit more yellow on here because I want a fair bit. So you won't be able to make these start to finish in like 10 minutes because you need to let this dry. So I have done that. So let me just put this one aside, and I'm going to use that for another project later. Let me grab the one that is already dry, and when it dries, it goes a little bit lighter. So here's my piece that is 3 inches. So I'm just going to try and straighten that out. So it's got a little bit of a fold to it. So just try and straighten it out. So we have a lovely lattice. So Ruth likes lovely lattice the most out of the Sale-a-bration. So 2 lasting lilies and 1 lovely lattice. So you must like to color too, Ruth, I'm thinking. So this is the mini pizza box, and you can see, so it as well will also curl a little bit as it's drying, and the color pools down here. And I did just take a a paper towel and I sopped up a little bit of that color, but I don't mind that happening because I think it gives it a really cool effect. I've got two other that I want to show you at the end, and one in particular has a super cool finish, and I'm trying to think if I put something different into my spritzer, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. Okay, so I'm already working here. So what I want you to do after this, or what I want to do, is I want to fold everything up along the score lines. And when I do that, it's just going to turn into this cute little box that will fit a bunch of different things. So because they're food safe, you can fit a couple cookies in there. I'm actually think I'm going to be making chocolate chip cookies tonight. And oh, I should tell you what I'm doing. So I might put a couple of those in here. So there's two little notches here. So this is the front here. This here where it has the flap, that's going to be the front as well, and it's going to fold over this way. So when you put it together, you put your two side pieces in, and there's two little notches that are two little, yeah, I'm going to call them notches, that fit right in there. So when you put them in, fold this guy over top. So I'm holding them with my hand, and then I'm going to snap that into place, and it just sits there. I'm going to pull that one out. These just slide in like that, and then this top piece comes across and it fits inside. I'm just going to do that with my hand, so it just fits inside. Okay, so that's how it folds closed. So there we go. And then we have this guy too. So I'm going to get rid of these because they could be a little distracting, and I'm not going to be stamping or making quite as much of a mess as I did doing that. So I'm going to grab a few things, and we are going to start to create and make the box pretty. So I've got my Stampin' Pierce mat, and I've got the So Happy to Have You in My Life set, which is why I needed to go with a larger piece of my Whisper White. So this one is 3 inches by 11. I also have my little flower, and I've got my Mango Melody stamp pad, and we'll just open that, and we're going to do the words first. Okay, and so I'm going to put my words on my Stampin' Pierce mat. Now many of you I'm sure know this, but when you have a large stamp, take your pad to the stamp. Turn your stamp upside down and just pat on top of it. You're going to get better coverage that way. So now I'm going to go this way on this piece of paper. So straight down and straight up. And because it's a larger stamp, I'm just going to make sure that I press it down quite well. Okay, so I just love this one. And so we're going to do that. And then we're also going to take our little flower, and we're going to put a couple little flowers in different places around it. So again, this is just Mango Melody, and we're just stamping all over the place. And when you're stamping like this, stamp off of your paper. It will immediately make your paper or whatever you're working on look larger, and it just gives it a lot more interest too. So we're going for a couple different looks. The other one, the one that I showed in the background on my Facebook Live, is a Good Luck one, and so we're going to use that one too. So I need my aqua painter now. So I'm going to take my aqua painter, and I am going, whoops, I forgot something. This is just a piece of scrap watercolor paper. So I'm just going to do 3 of these guys on my watercolor paper. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to take my aqua painter, and I'm going to color in this happy. And what I want to see happen, and if it doesn't, I have another alternative. So because this isn't watercolor paper, it's not moving really quickly. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just take a little dot of my Mango Melody re-inker, and I'm going to put it on my acrylic block. And then I'm going to pick it up, and I'm going to paint with it right over top. So I just want, we're doing a real tone on tone look kind of here. So I'm just going to make my happy look a little bit darker. It's going to actually look a lot like the So and the Life by the time we're done, but it's going to be just a little bit lighter, I think. So I'm just using really light brush strokes, so nothing really too heavy at all. because I'm trying to stay within the lines as much as possible. We are going to put something else over top of this right at the end after it dries. So we got something else. Hey, Emily, thanks for watching. Ruth is determined to learn some of the coloring techniques, Ruth. So this one's super simple. But watercolor, which I'm going to work with that watercolor paper here in just a minute. So I could have gone for a shorter word, couldn't I? I could have gone for the good luck, or I could have gone for the cake one. But I've already done those, so you're going to see those at the end and you can see what they look like. So when you're working with your aqua painter, it has a really fine tip. And I am using the smaller of the aqua painters, not the larger one. It doesn't really matter which one you use. I just find for a little bit more precision, I like the smaller one a little bit better. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Oh, I'm happy with happy. Look at that. And now I'm going to, hi Leanne, thanks for watching. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to color in these flowers, and I'm going to pull it, because I used watercolor paper, I'm going to pull the color from the flower itself. So I'm just going, it's going to make it look a little bit lighter. I'm going to try and keep a little bit of that dark on the edge. I'm going to lose some of the flower center, but I'm okay with that because I'm going to put something on those flower centers afterwards. So this is a really quick way to color. If you don't have a lot of different coloring tools, if you have an aqua painter and if you have some ink, you are pretty much set to go. So you can see that's gone a little bit darker, a little bit lighter in some cases. And I'm going to use Pear Pizzazz. So just a little bit of my Pear Pizzazz. And I'm going to go in and give my leaves just a little bit of green. So if you aren't comfortable using your stamp pads for this, they are really cool. Or you can just do what I did here. Give yourself a little bit of re-inker, or you can take your stamp pad and actually smush it onto your acrylic block too, and you'll get some color that you can just pick up. So I'm just very lightly going in here with my aqua painter. Oops, just about put orange on there, or Mango Melody. What color do you think this looks like? What color do you think Mango Melody is? Do you think it's more yellow? Do you think it's got more of an orangey tone? Let me know what you think. It actually is one of my favorite colors, and I love pairing it with Granny Apple Green. It's nice and bright. Okay. So, got those all colored. So, not too detailed there. I'm going to hold those up so you can see them a little bit better in the screen. So, there you are. Okay, so we've got all of our pieces now. Now, I'm not going to show you the excruciating detail of me cutting these guys out, but I will start, and then by the magic of not really television, because this is television, but when you are cutting out, what you want to do is you want to give yourself a little bit of white around. You never want to cut right up to the edge of whatever you're cutting out. It will just look much better. And when you think about it, if you happen to have any framelits that cut out shapes of your stamps or of some of the paper, like we have now with the How Sweet It Is paper, or the Christmas one, this time with all Santa and Mrs. Claus, there's always a lip of white around. So that's what you want to do. So you don't have to watch me cut out all of those because I cut some out already. So I'll put that to a side. Okay, so when we are working with this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to edge it on both sides with a piece of Mango Melody, and I'm just going to use my snail for that. So you want to turn it over, and you want to give yourself a nice long strip of snail. Go right to the ends. You can use tear and tape if you want as well. I didn't find that you needed to use something that was super strong for this particular part. Now, the easiest way for me to get this straight is to line up the edge of my paper with the edge of this paper. There you go, get snail stuck together there. So line it up. Give yourself maybe 1/4 of an inch along the top there. And then you're going to get a pretty straight image like that. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So So Bonnie thinks Mango Melody looks yellow, and it certainly looks yellow here, doesn't it? And Betty agrees that it looks yellow too. And the pear is nice with it. Yeah, it is, isn't it, Betty? The Granny Apple is really nice with it for a little bit more vibrant look. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to take this edge and I'm going to line it up with that edge. And I'm going to try and get about the same amount on either side. And then I'm just going to, so I'm not laying it down. I'm actually holding it up with my finger underneath there until I'm sort of happy with where it's going to be placed. And then I've got a piece that goes like this. Okay, so then I'm going to pick up my box. Now on this particular box, because this is so large, I could go this way, but I'm going to go this way instead. So I'm just going to have a little bit of my box peeking out. So this is 3 inches, which is what I needed to go. And here I'm going to, this is how, rather than scoring this first, I put it on top with where I want to see my words. And then I fold it over the edge. And I give it a little bit of rubbing along that edge. Same with this one. And then I hold that in place and I do that along the bottom. So right now I'm not giving it a really crisp fold. I'm just giving it a little bit of a fold. And you hear a little bit of cracking of the paper, and that's because the Mango Melody is not completely stuck yet to the Whisper White, so it's making a little bit of a cracking noise. So just know that. So now that I have those sort of formed, I'm going to take my folding bone or bone folder. What do you call this? Do you call it a bone folder or a folding bone? We were having a debate about this the other day, so let me know. So I'm going to start with this guy here, and I'm going to fold it back and I'm going to line up my edges. So when I line up my edges, if I can see them without getting my head in the shot, there we go. I'm holding it with my left hand, whatever your dominant hand is, and I'm going to give it a nice crisp edge. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. This was the easiest way for me to do this, I found, because I want a fairly tight fit on the box, but I don't want it to be so snug that it's not going to move, because your gift recipient, the person who receives it, is going to need to take this off. So now I also have these little folds back here, so I'm going to do the same thing there. I'm going to turn this one upside down, I think. And I'm going to do the last side as well. And let's hope that I did those all properly. Okay, so now we've got our piece that's going to fit over like this. Okay, and then it's going to cross in the middle. So what happens because we are folding our paper like that is you may end up with a little bit of an edge showing. So what I'm going to do, oh, it's going to do all that on both. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to pull in my Stampin' Trimmer when all else fails, and I'm going to cut that off. So I'm just going to cut off, just pull it right up against this, and you're going to need to hold it in place because you've got really 3 pieces of paper there. So I'm just going to cut all the way through that. And I think I'll cut all the way through this one too. There's lots of extra paper here, so you don't have to worry about not having enough paper to do the overlap. Okay, so I just get that out of there. I keep my Stampin' Trimmer right beside me there. Okay, and now, because this is going to be slid off and on the box, I want to have something that's fairly strong. Bone folder, bone folder, bone folder. 3 of them, perfect. So I'm going to put it on the box. Nobody uses folding bone. Is there anybody out there who does? So I'm going to put that on, get an eyeball picture of, let's see, do I like one better than the other? Not really. So I'm going to start with this one, and I'm going to put my liquid glue, and your liquid glue is going to give you a nice strong hold. You could use tear and tape too, but I really do find that in our climate, tear and tape is not fantastic at holding over the long term. Now, if you know you're giving it to someone and they're going to open it right away, then I wouldn't worry about it. So I put glue on the first inch of that one and on the first inch of this one, and then for sure there's going to be enough overlap. Okay, so you just overlap, try and match up your sides. We're just going to let that one sit for just a little bit. Okay, there we go. And now where did I put those? So now I have my little flowers, and I'm going to sit them right over top of, let's see, I think I'm going to do that one there. And I'm also going to do this one here. So I'm going to put those over top with a dimensional. And then I think I want to have maybe a little ribbon up here. So I need your assistance again. So this is one of the free ribbons in the Organdy ribbon. And you can let me know, what do you think? Should we put some white? This is the white Whisper White Flax ribbon. And this is the Daffodil Delight, which actually is not a bad match for this. So I need the first person to pop in and tell me what color we should use, and I will then have to figure out how we're going to make that bow, depending, because they're quite different, these ribbons. So who's going to be the first one to jump in there and tell me what we would like to use? Would we like yellow, or we would like white for our decorative piece? So I'm going to put that down. In the meantime, I'm going to close that up, and I'm going to Daffodil Delight. Okay, Bonnie. Uh-oh. Followed very quickly by Jennifer. Sorry, Jennifer, you got beat out by just quick. Oh, and then we have two more yellows, Ruth and Lori right behind there. So I'm just taking my dimensional and I'm putting it on the back. So it looks like Daffodil Delight 1, that one. So that's what I'll put on. And then I'm going to pull up 2 at once here. And we're going to go for putting these little guys on there. And I sort of like that this one is going over the edge here. So I'm not trying especially hard to get them over exactly over top, but they're so easy to work with, these little flowers, that they look pretty good. Okay, so now I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm just going to make a bow. Oh, I should have had one made in reserve. Oh, that's not too bad, except when it does this. I'm going to start that one again. So there's a couple ways you can make a bow. So I often will do just what I did there, just like you're tying your shoe. Okay, and then it sometimes ends up looking like that. And then I just play with the ends until I get one that I like. Okay. The other option is to make 2 loops. So 1 loop there, 1 loop here, so 1 held in your right hand, 1 held in your left hand, and then make an X out of them and cross them over. This is going to have you make a really nice ribbon. So don't pull really tight, so I'm really gently pulling right there, and then I'm still going to need to play with a really nice ribbon, a really nice bow. We're still going to need to play with the ends a little bit. So let's see. I actually like the other one better. So which one do you do? Or do you not even bother with bows? Do you hate bows? Some people really can't stand them. The bows that we make nowadays are much easier to fit in the mail. They fold down or flatten down into just about nothing. So do you use ribbon in your card making or in your scrapbooking right now? So again, I'm just playing with my edges, and I'm going to take a mini glue dot, which I have right here. And I'm going to put that on the back of that guy. I'm going to need to play with him a little bit more. Okay, and then we're just going to stick that up there. And then I am going to do one last thing. I'm going to take a little bit of this Frost White paint. And we had this Frost White shimmer paint in the holiday catalog. And you can still get it. I've got a little bit of a mess going here again. So I'm going to take the lid off of there, and I'm going to pull in my aqua painter, and I'm going to give myself just a teeny weeny bit on my acrylic block, because you really don't need very much. Yes, Ruth said she uses various sizes of kitchen forks to make ribbons, and some people are great at doing that. It seems I never have a fork when I want to. What also works is, remember those, I think you can still buy them, the picks, if you had a really fancy perm, a really heavy perm, curly, the picks instead of combing your hair. So I put just a little bit of my Frost White on there, and I'm going to put that on the center of my flowers. And there's just going to be enough here to give it some sparkle. Not a huge amount, just a little, just sort of dabbing it on there. And then I'm also going to put some just very lightly. And you don't even have to do all of the words if you don't want to, but I'm going to put it on the happy as well. and is just going to be something to catch the eye. So I don't know if you can see that in the screen because it is a little ways away, I realize. So let me just finish up here and then I'll hold it up so that you can see. And it's really very, very subtle. It's almost like using the wink of Stella, but it has just a little bit more to it. So can you see that if I carry it around in shine? So there's that. Now tell me, do you think we need to put something else on there? Do you think something else on the center of the flowers would be useful? So while you're thinking about that, and again, the first one to let me know, and let me know what it is you think we should try. And hopefully I have it. So I'm thinking either rhinestones or maybe the sequins out of the gingham gala sequins, or I also have the magnetic or the metallic sequins out of the catalog. Is there a pearl that you think might work on there? Or do you like it just as it is? So again, I'll pull that up for you so you can see. So just so you know, your recipient is going to need to take this off. And it works best if they take it off from, this is the front of the box. This is my front. So this is the front. They need to take it off from the back, which is going to be a little bit easier for them. So there's the first one. So Bonnie likes it the way it is. Betty says rhinestones. We need one more person to jump in there. I'm going to show you the other two that I made. The very first one that I made is this good luck one. And so here's the rhinestones on the 4-leaf clover. So on this guy, I also painted just this one clover with the Frost Shimmer White paint. So you can see when you have a 2-inch piece, you see a lot more of the box in behind. And with this ribbon, I just tied it and knotted it right around there. So Ruth says rhinestone too. Oh, Lori says pearls. Got 2 rhinestones. So what I want to show you is this box though. So this is Tranquil Tide. And when I sprayed this box, this is what happened to it. And so I don't know if this was just the Tranquil Tide and water, or if I perhaps had a little bit of alcohol in my spritzer. And I'm going to try it just with alcohol and see if I can recreate this, because it is really darn cool. Even if I try to do it, I probably won't be able to get it happen again. But it's like there's little etchings on here, little ice etchings. So you're going to have them take it off and have them put it right back on this way. And then the other one that I did is a little cake one. So this is pretty much a birthday cake one. So I've got some lovely lipstick, the same ribbon that we used last week. I've got the birthday cake colored in exactly the same way. And so were the clover here, just colored with my aqua painter. And then these are from the metallic sequin assortment that's in the annual catalog. And so I just pulled those out and glued them on. So I think we had a few people that said yes to something. So I will put some rhinestones on there too. And we had another rhinestone. So Judy chimed in with rhinestones as well. So let me just find, I don't know where my piercer tool is. So I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool instead. And on this end, I've got the pointy guy. And so I'm going to take some of the rhinestones, just set them on there. This guy's maybe not got the most. There. Is that a little bit of an improvement? A little bit of bling on there, a little bit more like the good luck one. Okay, so again, it's time for you to tell me which one. Let's get some of these other things out of here so that you can just easily see them. So which one do you like? So they're all made just with one stamp set and one color of ink each, except for the green on the flowers. I didn't think we wanted yellow leaves on our flowers. So which one appeals to you the most? This one, I was thinking it would be great for retirement, or if somebody is a coworker who's leaving. This one is just a because kind of gift, or even birthday, just anything. And with that, so happy. And then Life's Too Short to Say No to Cake. More than likely it's a birthday one, but it could be something else. So I have one vote for the green one so far. And is it because of the green one with the weird thing that happened with the paint, Ruth? And Jennifer's going for the pink one. And it's really funny because if you look at this pink, this is lovely lipstick. And I didn't put as many drops of re-inker into my Stampin' Spritzer. So I think I only put 6 in here, and it goes quite a bit lighter, so you can really see the differentiation, which is cool too. And we have a yellow, we have a good, so we have 2 greens, and we have 1 pink and 1 yellow. So keep telling me which ones are your favorite. I'd love to know. And what I'll have is one of these to give away next week. We have another one for the green. Perfect. It is, I love this little 4-leaf clover. So again, that, my product of the week, you'll see me do a couple more projects with that coming up on my blog. So be sure to check that out. I'm going to pull you back here so I can say goodbye. So hold on a moment. There we go. Don't anybody get all dizzy there. You get to see that my my cupboards for a while. Also, don't forget about my paper crafting retreat. So I know you can't read that, but our paper crafting retreat is coming up on March 9th, and you can have early bird up until the 20th of this month. So that's Sunday, and early bird saves you $20. So it's $90 for a full day, 9:30 to 4:30, lunch provided, all of your supplies provided except your regular adhesives and stamping supplies that you normally bring. But the one thing that we are doing is we are looking for another location. We were double booked in the location that we were at, and so we've narrowed it down to 2, and we'll find out tomorrow. So I will be posting where exactly we're going to be tomorrow, just if anybody is holding off on registering. But you probably don't want to hold off too long because we're getting close to being full for our for either of the venues that we've chosen. So again, thank you very much for joining me. I hope you have a great evening and that you like the projects, and thanks very much for sharing and for commenting, and I will see you next week at the same time, 4:30, for another Design with Jo Facebook Live. Have a great night. Bye-bye. So thanks very much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this project. If you do, please like it below and consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. All of the supplies that I used to make today's card you can find in the description below. And if you live in Canada and don't yet have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to be your gal. You can check out my blog at www.designwithjo.ca. So once again, thanks very much for joining me, and have a great paper crafting day.